Okay, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Dinur Syafidullah and I want to explore about article review response with the title Neuromythologies in Education by John Geek. Okay, I found this article in the internet and I have resumed all of the text in this form. Okay. This article published in May 29 at 2008. So, I will give about author information. Okay, John Geek was a prominent figure in educational neuroscience, known for his critical examination of the application of neuroscience in education. He was a professor at Oxford Brookes University and held a PhD in educational psychology. And actually, John Geek, he was professor at Oxford in a long time, and aiming to dispel common misconceptions in promote evidence-based practices in teaching and learning. So, his extensive research and publication have significantly contributed to a more nuanced understanding of how neuroscience can inform educational practice without falling into the trap of neuromyths. Okay, I will discuss about the article. So the title of article is Neuromythologies in Education. Okay, John Geek explained and explore the prevalence and impact of neuromyths in educational settings. Neuromyths mean misconceptions about brain and function that are often perpetuated in educational contexts. So, Geek examined various common neuromyths, such as the idea that individuals only use 10% of their brains, or that people are strictly left brain or right brain thinners. And the article highlights how these myths can influence educational practice and policy, often leading to infection and ineffective of misguided teaching strategies. Geek calls for a more critical approach to incorporating neuroscience and in education, emphasizing the importance of relying on robust scientific evidence rather than popular misconceptions. And Greg's central argument is that neuromyths, despite being widely accepted, are not supported by scientific evidence and hinder effective educational practice. He asserts that many educators and policymakers embrace the myths due to a lack of understanding and lack of neuroscience. Okay, understanding about neuroscience. And Greg stresses the need for educators to be better informed about the brain and to apply neuroscience finding judiciously in educational settings. Okay, by debunking common neuromyths, the article aims to promote a more accurate and beneficial application of neuroscience in education, so ultimately enhancing teaching and learning outcomes. Yes. And let me tell you more, explore and expand about this article. So the article employs a critical review of exciting literature to examine the origins and persistence of neuromyths in education. Geek analyzed various studies and sources that have contributed to the spread of this myth. He also evaluates the impact of neuromyths on educational practice and policy, and providing examples of how misconceptions about the brain can lead to ineffective teaching methods. His thorough review, Geek aimed to raise awareness about the importance of scientific and literacy in education, and to encourage educators to question and verify the neuroscience claims they encounter. And in conclusion, Grigg concludes the neuromyths are widespread in the education of and have significant implications for teaching and learning. He finds that these myths often arise from misinterpretation of scientific finding, or from oversimplification of complex neuroscience concepts. Grigg argues that addressing these misconceptions is crucial for improving educational practice. He calls for increased collaboration between neuroscientists as educators and ensure neuroscience is applied correctly and effectively in educational contexts. Grigg also emphasizes the need for ongoing professional development for educators and to enhance their understanding of the brain and to help them distinguish between scientifically valid information and neuromyths. Okay. Neuromythologies in Education by John Grigg provides a valuable critique of the application of neuroscience in educational settings. One of the article's thread is clear and through the debunking of common neuromyths. Supported by scientific evidence, Grigg emphasized on the need for greater scientific literacy among educators is particularly relevant. And such as how I can explore about the Grigg's articles. It highlights the importance of informed and evidence-based teaching practice. However, the article should benefit from more specific recommendations for how educators can access reliable neuroscience research and integrate them into their teaching. Despite this, Grigg's work is a crucial contribution to field, encouraging a more critical and accurate application of neuroscience in education. Okay, in my opinion, as a student in the Department of English Education, this article is highly relevant to my studies. It underscores the importance of relying on scientific evidence rather than popular misconceptions when incorporating neuroscience into educational practice. The article provides valuable insight into how neuromyths can negatively impact teaching and learning, which is crucial for my future career and as educator. By highlighting the need for critical thinking and scientific literacy, Grigg's work encourages me to approach educational practice with a more informed and skeptical mindset, ensuring that my teaching methods are based on robust evidence rather than infallible myths. Okay, that's it. My small review from this article. I hope you all can understand about the understanding of neuroscience of the methodology teaching and learning. So we know that about negativity and positive vision about this article. Okay, maybe that's all from me, and thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.